Yesterday, I had such a classic shame attack. I don't know if it's something you've ever experienced, but it's pretty unpleasant. And I thought, as it was such a classic, I'd share a little bit about it here. So I make these videos. They don't get that many views. Occasionally, one will get quite a few more views. And last week, I recorded a video about this exercise, this method, this process I've worked with for years. I worked with clients really successfully. And I just, I do these experiment videos where you can go along with it. And I thought this is going to be great. And I went back the next day, no views, not a single one. Now, there may be some other reason for it, but that doesn't matter. What matters is what happened inside of me is this kind of cascade of thoughts and emotions, which I was kind of helpless with, to be honest, for a while, even though I've done years of therapy, et cetera, et cetera. Just, just totally got me. And it was like, nobody likes it. Nobody likes your video. Not only that, this must mean that your work is a load of rubbish and how you express yourself is terrible. No views, remember. So, but that's what the voice was saying. And then, who do you think you are? What kind of person? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? There must be something wrong with you that this is done so badly, So, I mean, I'm saying it with a little bit of energy. The actual voice was much faster and much quicker. And, suddenly I was in this kind of space. So that's that shame attack. And what's so fascinating about it is that it goes from an experience, an event that has just happened. I made a video I cared about, it didn't do well, to this insult to myself, to this harshness, this self-judgment, which is so vicious and so unpleasant. I would never, ever talk to a friend like that. I just wouldn't do it. So, and yet here I am, or here I was yesterday, rather, doing this process to myself without even thinking about it and getting to this place where I'm just feeling bad and pushing myself down even further. So fortunately, I have done a bit of work on myself. So I was able to recognize what was happening fairly quickly and bring on what is the most effective antidote for me and for some of the people I work with, which is to actually, in a way, do nothing, but change the way I'm holding myself and actually see if I can bring on some kindness in some kind of way to myself without changing it. Because what I've found is that if I'm able to do that, then soon enough, I'll start that harshness will start to soften, that kind of self-judgment will start to soften. I'll start to see other possibilities again. And then I'll be able to actually move into being a bit more open and come back to myself and feel a little bit more human and take a breath and, even find it amusing, which is wonderful. There's something else, though, which is really, really important, which is that if we ever want to do anything new creatively, and it doesn't matter what area that is in our relationship, in work, in playing, doesn't matter what it is. If we ever wanted to do something new, then some part of us may feel threatened. And if shame is a part of our patterning, shame will come up. So what is very interesting in the long term with this kind of experience is that if we start to have this practice of kindness with it, over time, what it does is it becomes part of our creative process, becomes part of the way that we actually, because we know that that's a thing that happens to me, Simon, when something goes wrong in this sort of sphere, because I know that, then I know that when it happens, it's almost a trigger to actually move into that kindness and hold myself differently. So that I guess what I'm trying to get, I haven't put it as well as I wanted to, but what I'm trying to get, oh, that could be an opportunity for a bit of shame. No, won't go there. But the point I'm trying to make is that if we take a slightly longer term view, rather than that is a failure, oh, I've just got out of the failure, I've managed the shame and I'm back to okay. If we actually start to work with the shame as part of our longer term growth process, then it makes it easier for us to try the new stuff, fail, and move forward with learning as the aim rather than just feeling okay, or rather than just getting out of the dark spot or avoiding it completely. Now, I know there are times as well, this has just occurred to me, I did want to say this earlier. There are times where we actually just have to push through that difficulty. You know, if it's not helpful to necessarily take the time and the space, sometimes we just have to push through. But that's only part of the picture. That's not the long-term way to actually really make shame an ally. And I think that this approach, when we have the experience, just to as quickly as we can, and that might take weeks, sometimes months, years even, for some big events or longer developmental stuff, but it can also be very quick, like it was yesterday. It was a matter of, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. And I actually moved through from that complete unconsciousness into that clarity and into the realization that, or reaffirmation rather, of how powerful it is to actually move from shame being just this thing we try and get away from to being a part of our growth process.